So if you devote something for like, okay, 15 minutes extra shooting, 15 minutes extra sleep, 15 minutes extra strength conditioning, stretching, little bit of recovery, in a year
Yeah,
you will have extra 90 hours.
yeah,
So do
yeah.
not kind of make a way to gamify it, challenge your friends.
Mental health, stress, hours with the screen, all that things that are something that like a performance coach will very mind and will take care of. Talking with colleagues like you, that is something that happens not only here in Spain, but also in many countries,
Yes.
into many athletes.
Only those results that you are doing, even if you
Mm.
have the highest aspiration. So question for you, do you think it's possible to be in professional, like to achieve professional level for those youth players if they do not work on the invisible things? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Basketball Body and Mind. Today, we are thrilled to have Roberto Molina, an experienced strength coach. Roberto has been working in a school since 2012 as a physical education teacher. Besides that, he has spent 7 years with different Spanish national teams, 4 years with Bilbao Basket, 2 seasons with Borussia Bamberg. On top of that, he works online. In addition to his work, he is currently doing a PhD. He's a licensed FIBA basketball coach, I think, speaker, and most importantly, happily married. Roberto, do you
Yeah.
do anything in your life? Have you achieved
Um,
anything?
Actually, we're expecting a baby right now, so yeah,
Another one.
yeah,
What
yeah,
about that?
yeah.
What about that? So, Roberto, with 7 years in Spanish national team, you like Spain is always at the top of the top, and if you are the top, you have to do many things right. However, in your opinion, since you have been 7 years there, what are the top three issues? It can be strength and conditioning, it can be basketball, it can be maybe mindset, whatever. But what are the top three issues that when you see the basketball players, what are those issues they're coming with, in your opinion?
Okay. First of all, thank you for having me, Stan. It's a pleasure. I'm sorry because the first attempt didn't work. It was a very big mistake on my end, so I apologize because for that. Thank you for the great
All good.
introduction. I'm very humbled to hear all that. Yes, answering the question. Top three issues I find with a national team that I will say also find sometimes working with professional players too is in terms of habits, setting rituals or discipline protocols that they need to stack to. Because I would say last generations like to see results very quickly, and things don't come through night. Like you need to be persistent and stuck to it to be able to see results. So I would say that is number one. They want to fix whatever issue they find quickly. Many times that doesn't happen. I would say that's number one.
Yes.
And number two, I would say like invisible training plays an important role in
You said invisible training.
yes, I will
What do you mean
mention
by
now
that?
what I will say invisible training referring to all that happens outside the court. Like all they don't count as basketball itself, but also play an important role towards their performance. Let's name it as hours they sleep, quality of sleep, hydration, nutrition, mental health, stress, hours with the screen, all that things that are something that like a performance coach will very mind and will take care of, but so often a player don't even know about it. Nobody tell them, and
Okay, and before
nobody.
before you jump, before sorry to interrupt, but before you jump
Yeah.
into the third, expand a little bit on this. How do you manage that screen time and change it to better sleep, better nutrition, better hydration? How do you change that? Because it's I think
Okay.
it's impossible.
Yes, it's very difficult even for like people like us, like our community of strength coaches, who we are supposed to play. no life in that terms of health. We like to take care of that aspect. They don't know how to do it. So quick example. Let's say screen time. Always come with a challenge. Always come with a competition. Like either with themselves or with the rest of the team. Let's see it like time, like percentage. You can easily on your device have access to the amount of minutes, to the amount of hours per week that you are using your phone. So, okay, let's check on that. Let's report how many hours I have used my phone this week. Let's see if I'm capable of doing less hours, less amount of time the following week. Either competing with yourself or competing with like within a team. Let's see who's the player that is using less time the phone, or let's see who is the player who can reduce more time this week the usage of the phone. That could be a easily done measure to do. That
Yes,
is
very,
a screen.
yes, very
Yeah,
smart.
yeah, quite easy. And then sleeping wise, you can, I would say, this very important two aspects: the amount of time and the quality of time. You can track with rings, Oura rings. You can track with your with watches. You can, on top of that, now there are apps on your phone that you have to have a subscription, but this is a very low subscription, and they report how you sleep according to the motion next to the bedside table, like many things you can help you yourself with in terms of quality and quantity of sleep. Hydration, for example, is forcing yourself to drink more water in windows of time. For example, as adults, again, let's say you do you like coffee, Stan?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I would say I'm not a
I,
coffeeaholic, but I really like coffee. So me myself, I force to drink a full bottle of water, like a liter and a half water before having my first coffee. So then you make sure, okay, you want the coffee, you got it. But after the you got the reward after completing what you need is good for you, like a liter of water before that. Can be a tea, can be hot water, can be cold water, doesn't matter. But you make sure you got that in your within your body before having the first coffee, and so on before the first practice. So just a little trick. It was Halloween yesterday, right? Like
yeah, I
trick or
mean,
treat. So
yes,
before having the treat,
I really liked what you said because you, first of all, you have gamification, like you're competing against yourself or others. You have to find the ways, because it's not so easy to say, okay, it's easy to say, okay, I'll sleep more. But no, find a way to kind of measure it and then gamify it. Maybe contact with your friends. Okay, let's do this. Let's have this challenge. We both know it will improve. Our basketball will improve. And the second one, what I really, really like, you said the bright line, like before having coffee or whatever you would say, I will, whatever other you would take example, but I have 1.5 liters of water
mhm.
or before you said a bright line that okay, if I want to get this I have to do this. So you can set even like if you want, I want to go on the court to shoot, just shooting, not even practice, I have to stretch for 5 minutes. You set timer, you have to do the stretching for 5 minutes, whatever. But that bright line, you cannot step on the court, for example, if you have done this. So kind of your reward of shooting, you have to maybe stretch or you have to do some knee work, whatever. So I really like these 2 points what you were
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, this second one, thank you, is not something I invent. I read it in the book, The Power of Habits. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, they call this term the anchor. Like when you like or when you have something like is within your system that you do naturally without thinking, just build something either before or after that you know is good for you, and it's going to be very easy to make it a ritual also to do it without thinking, without a short period of time. Again, time, long term, short term, because you have that event that we are talking about coffee. I'm going to have a coffee for real, for sure, without thinking. Okay, I'm going to build a habit of having 1 liter of water either before or after the coffee, and it's going to be something that is going to come naturally because I have that within me. Yeah, and
Okay,
the
okay. So then,
gamification. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Sorry. Go,
gamification
go.
also. so I'm interrupting you.
No,
Is
sorry.
you said first one that people are expecting quick results, then
Mm,
they're not doing what you see the issues with the young players at the highest level, like best players of Spain, like best people in like in the world, in the Europe, definitely. So uh, you have expecting quick results, then not doing work outside of the court. And is there anything third that comes to your mind that they are still kind of missing, lacking?
well, I wouldn't, I can come with a third idea to that. I think that for me, that's the main two topics, main 2 points, balance that I will find with young players, with professional players. And I've been lucky to work, like you say, with the Spanish national team, with us being in the top position in the ranking for the last, I don't know how many years.
Exactly.
But I'm pretty sure, talking with colleagues like you, that is something that happens not only here in Spain, but also in many countries,
Yes.
into many athletes.
Yes, regardless of the actually of the level, I will share two quick stories. One story I have seen when I was doing my I was visiting gym. It's called the Team Di Francesco TD Athletes Edge, and he was working in a strength and condition. He was a strength conditioning coach for Los Angeles Lakers for like 6 years, and
Mm.
he made, if I remember correctly, he shared one story that he made a presentation to the professional team like Lakers for the players who get millions, and he was making a presentation. You get stronger, sorry for my language, you get stronger when you lift heavy shit. So he was explaining that you need to lift heavy. And then another one story I remember that is from Golden State Warriors, that they were teaching or reminding the team, the the Currys, the Clay Thompsons, all these players that, hey, try to not to use a phone before you go to sleep, or if you are using the phone, at least put the night shift on, because every phone has it, like if I'm talking about like Apple phones. So it's interesting, like not even in that level, not even in our youth level, but it's also in the
Yeah,
highest level
yeah,
that they are doing.
yeah.
Continuing topic a little bit maybe, but you are the licensed referee or licensed basketball coach?
Basketball coach. I'm not a
But
referee. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm not a referee. I Yes, basketball coach. Yeah,
I
yeah,
found a coach, but it was not clearly written, so I'm just
yeah.
double checking.
Sorry.
But since you have this knowledge in basketball, technique, drills, everything, do you think that we need to, as a strength coaches or maybe players, that do we need to train similar movement patterns that happens on the court but under the load, or it has to be strength condition has to be different from basketball movements?
Well, I think uh, no one answer fits it all, but the vast majority, let me explain it. The vast majority, I would say, for professional athletes with previous experience, I think it's very interesting working with specific movements or specific patterns that they are going to apply into the sport later. And also, it's more motivating for them doing this strength workout, doing similar movements that they're going to do in their sport later on, but with young athletes or professional athletes, but with short career that they are in their early ages, I will focus more in the basics. For me, the basics are first. Even though the trendy right now is, posting it on the social media, this exercise, which is amazing, using three different objects. It's nice. The athletes is gonna like it. You are going to feel proud of yourself because you got them doing it. You are going to post it. You're going to have many likes. Yes, it's nice. But if we try to be professional, I think first things first is the basics. You need to master the basics to build on top of that. And again, we mentioned before long term, not trying to get results from the night to the day, if you know what I mean. I can't remember the expression right now, but I think you can understand the idea. It's not going to be building that up in 1 week. You need time to progress, to feel better, to create on top of layers or create more levels to later on within the career, you can start thinking about working with similar patterns that you can quickly transfer to the court. Once I say that, when I'm with national team, I try also to do exercises that are similar or easily transfer into the court, because our activity with them is very short. You've been there with we've been together with national team this past summer. We know we are like a month with them, so the time to build up something is very narrow. So you need to get the players healthy, motivated, and they trust and they buy in what you are selling. So you need to find the right balance between what is needed and what they looking for.
Okay, so basically, you would say that everyone should start kind of mastering the basics, and also like talking about the Instagram. If you like by your description, if the person is using three different kind of things, like three mini bands, and then one dumbbell and the fit ball, maybe, and that exercise has like let's say 10,000 likes, maybe it's not the exercise you should be doing. Maybe just focus on the 10 likes of goblet squat or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
first you have to
yeah.
focus on the basics, right? And only then, when you have mastered the basics, only then add some of the movements, like basketball specific movements, but still you would do some basics at the same time, if I understood correctly. Yes.
Yes, yes.
But now, like, if you would, when you are working with professional teams, not with the, let's say, national team, but professional teams, and young player is coming, so you would like him to be very developed with those basics, or you would rather him to be muscular, or would you rather be him very, very skilled at that, let's say, age, let's say 17, 16, when he is coming to the, or she's coming to the top team? What would you like him or her to be at that level?
If I'm in the position where young athletes comes into the professional field, first what I feel comfortable with is knowing his past. What I mean by that is, firstly, I ask his previous strength coach, his previous staff, club where he comes from, even if he's within the same club, just talking with the staff he was working and having the point of view of the people who was in charge of him, knowing the way he was working. And after that, I like to have the own player point of view, what he thinks he needs, where he finds he's struggling and we need to correct. And thirdly, I I'm trying to be open and clear to my players. I need time to really know them and see what the patterns are or where I think we can affect them for the positive way. So I would say if we're working with young players, we need to see what the maturation level is. Like even with the same age, where we are talking about 15, 16, 17-year-old guys, they are not in the same page, even though they're in the same team. They got different levels. So you can focus more within the strength with some of them. You need to focus more towards stability and patterns with others. So that's I think that's the beauty of our work, because even though we are taught at the university, well, this is the right, this is the age, this is what you have to do, this is the level, this is what you have to do. That when you jump into reality, that doesn't work like that way. And at the same time, that's why we are very required within the stuff. We are we are like years ago. I don't know how the situation is right now in Lithuania. Let me know how is this, because like 20 years ago here in Spain, you check on the staff in professional teams, and no, all of them had a strength coach in the staff,
For sure, for
because
sure.
it was not considered as something important. But as the sport continue evolving, every day more and more is realized how important the physical level it is, and the health is related to physical, and the health is related to strength, and the health is related to mobility, and so on. So we are a very important part within the staff.
I mean, 20 years ago, definitely. Like, if I would think 2004, oh man, uh, I don't know. Like, I never looked into that, but I am pretty sure that even like 10 years ago, 2014, yeah, 10, 12 years ago, uh, maybe all teams at highest level had it, and I would say, and I'm talking just about basketball, and only I would say couple maybe had, in my opinion, in second highest league. Right now, I think everyone has some sort of like a strength coach, even in the second team also. So yeah, I mean, speaking about this, like as you said, like it's hard to expect what to work on the players since the maturation is not happened. You can push the hypertrophy training. Maybe somebody's going to the gym like age 15, let's say going to the weight room like 4 times a week and pushing very hard, trying to gain mass, but maturation has not happened yet. Maybe the person will gain even more mass just by maturing. So, as you said, we coaches, we really need to be cautious, but also, or aware, but also players like, okay, like, relax. You're not late. You have time. Maybe you just haven't matured yet. Okay, somebody matured at age 14,
Mm,
and somebody matured at age 17 or 18. You still have the time, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as you were saying, came to my mind a player had I won't say where. I had a player,
Yeah.
young player in a professional team. The focus, the goal from the club for him was for him to build up, like gain muscle, right? He knew it, coach knew it, everybody knew it. So we focus on that. But the thing is, he worked hard in the gym, but later on, all the invisibles we were mentioning before were wrong. Nutrition was not correct. He didn't sleep the proper time at the proper moment. He was not doing any recovery, and everybody was like, "What is going on here?" He comes to the gym, he's lifting, but why he didn't put on on muscle? Well, there are many reasons. There are many factors that play an important role in that, and you can control yes a tiny part of that, but they need to be responsible, and we need to teach them. That's the part I think is the most important, is to know the player, to know the person, to know the people, and know what is the better way to approach them, to get inside the armor so they understand what they need to do in the long term again to grow as a player. Because they come to the gym with you 5 times a week for 2 hours, but there are a lot of hours that they are not with you, that they need to be responsible, they need to be aware what they need to do to continue developing as a player.
Yes, yes. So maybe you could use this example, for example, that he was lifting, but he was not doing the invisible work. So how did you find that invisible work? Did you test him? Did you talk with him? How did you address that?
After, I would say, 4 weeks, we see barely improvement. So, well, we sat in the office and we start like reporting. Everything is like, for me, reporting is crucial. If you are not reporting anything or assessing anything, it's going to be quite messy. If you report, then you can compare, you can see into the data, and that's going to help you a lot. So that's the way we found what was going on. By, for example, in our case, was asking from the player to set in a picture diary of all his meals. So he gotta have a meal of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Take a picture of each of them. Gotta like in the phone, something quickly in notes. Monday, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Got it store. Tuesday, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Store. Pa, 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 pa. And at the end of the week, he shared with us. He gave us to us, provide to us. And then we sit down together and we say, it's not possible. You can put on muscle eating this. You know what I mean? So, okay, we can give you a shake after practice with protein, with creatine. That's amazing. Tastes good. Yeah, but later on, what are you doing? So
Cornflakes
that's
and milk.
that's yeah, that's how that's that's how you find it. That's how you find the things that need to be corrected. So we found that way. Did it change it? No, but we
No.
knew what was not working. So that's
Yes.
something like, to me, it took me time to accept when how difficult it is to get to professional level. You know how difficult it is, and some players take it for granted. Once they step in the court, first professional year, they think it's going to last forever, and it's just the beginning. And you need to improve a lot to be not a role player, but be a starting player, and you need to work. And what can we do as strength coaches if players cannot put in work? If they don't have the mentality, if they don't have the discipline, it's very difficult to change it. I can accept and I understand when a player doesn't know. If they don't know what to do, we are there to help them. If they don't know how to do it, we are there to support them. If they never been told, okay, we are their support system. We are going to be with them as much time as they need. But if they don't want to, if they know they are doing something is bad for their performance, for the health, and they still do it, okay, I'm not going to deny my time. Whenever you need me, I will be there for you, but I'm going to focus my time more in the athletes that they need me, that they want it to be helped. Because at the end of the day, we are working with 10, 12 players when we are working in a team, and we only have two hands. We cannot be everywhere, even though we are running up and down, always late on everything, trying to cover all the holes, trying to help everybody. Okay, if you don't want to be helped, I'm going to focus on somebody who want to be helped.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's so well said. Like, if you want to, if you have very high goal, if somebody cannot see and you are just listening, so think that your goal is far on the right, far, far on the right. So you have to execute far, far on the right, which is like very good nutrition, sleep, hydration, work, extra skills, everything. But on the left, far on the left, we have poor nutrition, poor hydration, poor sleep, poor work ethics, poor mindset, everything poor. So if you have goals on far on the right, but your work ethics is in the middle or on the left, you will get only those results that you are doing, even if you have the highest aspiration. So question for you, do you think it's possible to be in professional, like to achieve professional level for those youth players if they do not work on the invisible things?
Some of them, some of them could do it if they are very talented, if they are very lucky, talking about their genes, their physicality. If you got a great physicality or great talent, you could do it. But if you are within the zone, within the average, and you don't take care of that, I will put my money that your career is not going to be very long as a
Yes.
player.
Yes. So if somebody like has starting at, let's say, different kind of level, like talent wise, genetics, everything, so they can go by with some of the things at the beginning, but maybe their career will not be so long or so, let's say,
Mm,
healthy. But if you are just, let's call it like average, you
mm.
have to do invisible things to maximize your chances. And if you're not doing that because you don't know, ask coaches, look for information, coaches will help you. But if you still not executing, do not expect the maximum results because you're not operating at maximum like capabilities.
Exactly, exactly. And in the business of professional basketball, you know, the better you do, the better results you get, the more likely is that you get a better contract. And sometimes it's not probably the motivation for all of them, but everybody wants to have a good contract. So the plant you are watering today is the plant that is going to give you the fruit tomorrow. So the habits, the invisible training you are doing today is going to help you to the contract you're going to have in 2 years' time. So you want to earn more money? Just start by showing off what you have. Start by working on your craft and give it time to grow up, and then you will see.
Yes, one thing to mention here is remember the very beginning that we were talking that you have to kind of find a way to gamify it in
Yeah,
order to see the results because you will need to do it consistently
yeah,
for many days, many weeks, many months, and do not expect quick results. And the steps actually they do not need to be like super or like work doesn't have to be like super long hours like every day 5 hours. No, like if you spend 5 minutes a day, that will equal to 30 hours in a year. So if you devote something for like, okay, 15 minutes extra shooting, 15 minutes extra sleep, 15 minutes extra strength conditioning, stretching, little
mm,
bit of recovery. In a year,
yeah,
you will have extra 90 hours.
yeah,
So do
yeah,
not kind of make a way to gamify it, challenge your friends, maybe build a calendar, write in your notes. If you are not feeling motivated, look at the streak you have built over the days. Like there are so many ways to kind of gamify
yeah,
it, but
yeah.
it's easy not to do it 15 minutes stretching. It's easy.
Super easy, super
Yes.
simple, and yeah, another trick that I think is sometimes is an advice for them. Play the mirror, or be the keychain of the uh, ideal athlete. I mean by that, in every team, you got a player who does everything by the book, whose work ethic is extraordinary. It's amazing. Just the young player just need to copy and follow the player. Just do that. Just by doing that, just by doing that, he's going to get better. So if he like, let's make an example. You are 16-year-old. Is your first year coming to the practices with the first team, even though you are playing or practicing with the second team also of the club. Okay, every time you come to the first team practice, stay around the captain, stay around this player, this extraordinary player with the mentality we are talking about, and do everything he does. He comes early, come early. He stay late, come late. Do everything. Just copy him. It's as simple as that, and you are going to learn so much.
Yes.
And that's something also creates bonds and give them confidence, and that in the long run within the season that helps them to develop mentally, physically, and the confidence too.
Yes, and if you say there's no one around me, there is no one I can like copy. Hey, there's a book from Kobe Bryant. You can listen to Steph Curry. You
Yes,
can
yes,
listen to LeBron James on the podcast. You can hear them every single day, like hours. They will
mm,
be speaking to your ears like we are talking right now. It's
mm,
going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect your work ethics. But if you're not putting that into your ears and you rather listen to I don't know what you are listening right now, but if you would listen more of LeBron James, more of Steph Curry, more of Michael Jordan, you will be more like them. Simple as that. Just
yeah,
as you said, copy them.
yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yes. If we like very briefly, we touched on the advices for age 12, 15 that they need to focus on the basics. Would you name what does it mean for you basics? Is there like some kind of like a movement patterns, exercises that they should be focusing on, or are there any standards that you are looking for age, let's say middle school, 12, 15 years old?
Yeah, I will. That's a good question. Uh, what pattern I will look into? I will give different priorities depending on the position. So according to the position they are on the court, I will try to focus more on one target or two targets max within a month. I'll try to set simple targets but achievables, not something that they cannot that they see very far away from them. So they get more motivated to achieve them. So that's the first thing, the position they play in. Secondly, their physicality. There is three stereotypes: ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph, right? So that's also something I bear in mind according to what is the physicality of this player, the injury record, if there is something serious to bear in mind, even though they are young. And then to be more concrete on your on your question, maybe because I just that this I said till now is like the red lines or the path I try to follow, right? Try not to step outside that path. So once I find that, I will focus a lot on core, okay, but not core like lying on the floor, like core more functional, core like standing, Palov, all unilateral exercises where they have to compromise the core and they need to use it in a more transferring way to the court. Then the basic flexion and extension from the hip, from the knee, stability on their ankles, and then the gain of strength, put on muscle on the upper body, mainly for jump athletes more than maybe professional athletes, which normally is more maintaining the strength levels. That will be like my guidelines. I
Is
don't
there
know if
any? Yeah. It's very clear. Like core, standing, focusing on like those squats where you bend or deadlifts, movements of that where you
yeah.
bending at your hips or flexing your knees and upper body movements. Are there any standards? For example, how many chin-ups you would like them to do? Is it like one is acceptable, or you would like them to do five push-ups? Is it 10, or you would like you to do like 50? Is there anything that you are aiming or looking at them?
To progress, you mean to create a
No, I'm
progression?
like that you would say age 15 you would like
Yeah.
someone to do like one chin up or like five, that they would think, okay, I can do one chin up. I think my all my classmates or in my team, nobody can do a chin up. I'm good, I can do one. Is it acceptable or no?
Like if we're talking about a 15-year-old,
Yes,
I don't
let's
mind
say.
how many, yes, let's say how 15-year-old, I don't mind as much how many they can do it, but having this starting point. How many you can do it now? Okay,
Okay.
this is our starting point. Now,
Yes.
how many we want to achieve? Like we say, at the end of the season, let's put like you do three now. At the end of the season, let's game. Let's play. Sorry, let's play. How many you
Yes.
think you can do at the end of the season? Okay, I bet on you. You cannot get to this amount. And then
Yes.
once you set that long-term game, like if he got three chin-ups, let's say three chin-ups, and he thinks he can end up the season doing 12 chin-ups, I say, okay, you're not capable of doing 10. Okay, we got the long-term game. Now let's set
Gamification again.
short, again, exactly. Let's set short-term games. Okay, we are in 1st of November right now. 1st of November, you do three push-ups, three chin-ups today. By the 1st of December, you are not capable of doing five. And then you got the goal, a specific target, short target that he can aim every day in the gym to achieve the next level. Okay, he get to five, then he got to get to seven, then and so on. So you can build that. That's my
I
personal
I
approach.
really like, because you're not putting anyone down, whether you can, or putting up, if somebody
Yeah,
can do 10 and they're like walking with the nose up, and somebody can do one, like they're not
exactly.
walking with their eyes down, like, okay, this is just a starting point. You can do 10, okay,
Yeah.
let's aim, I don't know, weights, or okay, let's aim 15, and somebody who is doing like one, okay, hey, next step is five, let's go,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's yeah. Sorry, like it came to my mind. Remembering this, I'm sure you are aware of this. Kevin Durant. Yep. In
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
you know what I'm talking about, right? In the NBA draft exam, they have to run on the bench press. They need to run a test, right? And they compare. They have a ranking. On
Yes,
the first day, he was not able to complete even one repetition. So what?
yes.
It's not going to be directly related on how many points he's capable of doing on the game, but it's going to be related on how well or how strong he can play on the court. So that was day one for him, zero repetitions. If you go to see him right now,
He's doing pretty well.
yeah, he's doing well. So, like you say, it's not putting somebody down because he's not capable of lifting his chin over the ball. He's okay. Just work. What is your starting point? You got it clear. Now let's build on that.
Yes, and then if we would talk about age 16 and 19, they were training hard. They did all the basic standing core exercises. They got a little bit of muscle mass in upper body. Do they need to change their trainings and add those specific movements as you said previously? Or how would the physical training change? Because they are approaching the transition into professional level. Would you change anyhow?
You change, what do you mean? Changing the goals or the methodology from before being professional?
Methodology.
Yeah.
Would you change anything?
Well, I I would say I try not to change drastically a player's methodology or routines because if a player comes to you and you are working at a professional level, that means what he's been doing is pretty good to get there. So, like I think I said before, firstly, it takes me a few weeks to see him working, to see what is his approach, and then from there, trying to individualize and adapt to him. I don't want to I like to meet them halfway. Let's say they have their way of working. I have my point of view of seeing things, and I try to see how they're doing to see what is the right path to approach and try to find them halfway to if we can affect them again in the good way, that's great. But I like to be outside the light, saying that I mean that again, if the player gets to professional level, that means he's working probably well. We can or we need to help them continue in that way, giving them a few advice, a few tips. We don't need to think that we know it all because I have two masters, two university degrees, blah, 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 blah. No, no, no. That's not the right way. And at the end of the day, it's a team sport. There are so many things that come into action that not all that we know or we think we know is going to affect directly to the game.
Yes, I mean, I'm pushing you a little bit, to give me black or white answer. Okay, you have to do this, change this, because
Yeah.
many people think
Yeah.
that way, and I would like to have this answer, but I just want to show that it's it's rarely the case. You always have to take into
No.
consideration many different things. Okay, so now let's go to the last round, and which is the quick questions. So now you
Okay.
have to answer either yes or no, or maybe it will be just one word answer. I'll say this. Try your best, do your best, answer just one word. If you want to add something later, we can talk about it a little bit later, but now just be with the questions as short as possible, okay?
I'll try my best.
Perfect. Coffee or other stimulants before a game? Yes or no?
Yes.
Back squat for improving vertical jump?
No.
Yoga for basketball players?
Yes.
Static stretching before training session?
I don't mind.
Static stretching or breathing exercise? Which one do you choose? Static stretching or breathing exercises after training?
After training, breathing.
For basketball players, more important are chin-ups or bench press?
Uh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I would say both, but you want me black or white? I'll go with bench press.
Okay. Olympic lifts like cleans and snatches with a bar, is it good for basketball players or it's useless?
Clean is good. Snatch is dangerous.
Cold water immersion after the game.
Yes. If there is no game the following day.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I say yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you improve
Um,
vertical jump? Can you improve vertical jump without weights?
yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Are agility ladders drills useful for basketball players or it's nonsense?
Useful, not for everybody.
Okay. Okay. So you want to talk about cold water a little bit to mention
Yeah.
something?
Let's talk about anything. I'm sorry because I try to add something to the answer. Like the same as before. I mean, um, how can I put this in words? like you say, and I don't know if maybe you have a different approach, but what is good for you, maybe it's not good for me.
Yes.
So you need to analyze and to understand the full picture to be able to implement the tools, the ideas, the strategies, because different players, different positions, different approach, different context, different trajectory, different everything. So there is no two twin players. So if they are not twin players, they cannot have the same adaptation. They cannot have the same load, like load monitoring. Like I'm more like a freak in load monitoring, right? So internal load monitoring. If you provide the same external practice, the same external workout, identical, running the same, lifting the same, why the internal load is different? So same because it's creating different adaptation to the players. So it's the same with the strength. It's the same with conditioning. It's the same with stretching. I don't
Yes,
know
yes. I mean,
if I can
yes,
help.
yes. It makes sense, and I really, really understand. The issue, actually, I think I haven't mentioned this, but in any other episode so far. But the issue is what I see, that there are so much of information. Do this, don't do that. Then somebody says, okay, water immersion, yes. Then somebody, water immersion, no. Eat protein, don't eat protein. It causes inflammation. Everything. So people who do not have filter, like coaches, they don't really know what to do. They are lost. Like, what should I do? There are so many different options or paths to take that you don't know which way to go. And you're like, is it good? Is it good to stretch before? But my vertical will go down, So that's why I'm like making this. But
Yeah,
I really, really understand you, and it's very hard to give like solution, because somebody says my back hurts, what should I do? Like, whew, it can be like thousand different things. Like,
exactly.
is you say like my leg hurts, it can be knee, it can be ankle, it can be so many different things. But right now, we will I'll just summarize for now. We will have maybe on another topic, another call, those other topics. But from our conversation, what I understood, just correct me if I will not summarize well, but it seems that the most important thing for young players is to understand that the results come from consistency. And from our conversation that we have talked, and to summarize it, it seems that the youth need to focus on invisible work in order to get the results, because it's very, very important, because you spend actually more time in those hours doing invisible work than doing the actual training. And then another thing, that you have to gamify, find a way to kind of, let's say, motivate yourself to do more of those things. And last thing that I would kind of try to think about, that as everyone is saying, like, you have to do the basic things well. Either it's in strength conditioning, either it's in basketball, like you have to focus on simple things like easy dribble, shooting, passing. And then in terms of sleep, just sleep 8 hours. So it seems like the success would come from those three takeaways. Would you add anything?
No, you summarize it perfectly. Thank you
Okay.
for
No,
for
thank
listening.
you. Thank you for your time today, Roberto. Muchas gracias. If anyone would like to contact you, what would be the
Yeah.
best way to contact?
Well, I have a profile on Instagram. It's Ready Performance. Or you can, if it's somebody close to you, you can share my personal number. I'm always open to talk. Um, I'm very humble, very grateful for your time and for having me.
Hey,
Honestly.
thank you. Thank you. It was really interesting to talk. And for everyone else, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode. That is the best way to support us. But for now, keep training basketball, body, and mind.